Hey there, everybody. It's been about 3 days since Alien Swarm has been released, and I decided to make a little series on the basics of mapping for Alien Swarm, as it is very different from other source games. So, you can go ahead and download the Alien Swarm SDK under Tools. As soon as you have Alien Swarm downloaded, this will show up. You just double-click on it, and it'll download for you. Then you run it, go over here, double-click on Hammer World Editor. And we greeted with this screen right here. So then, I'm going to go to File and New. So, if you haven't watched a Hammer tutorial before on any other source mods, or Half-Life 2 or anything like that, I recommend that you go and watch one of those first, because even though I will be covering the basics here, it is a little bit different than other source games, so I still recommend that you get a nice strong base before you watch this, a video that'll explain all the basics, what all the buttons do over here and stuff. But anyways, continue on. So for this game, you need to surround everything that you make with one giant block, and do that. You just make the block and scale it up a little bit like that. Then from the side view, it doesn't need to be that tall, or however tall your level is. This should be big, I'm sorry. And so then, press enter to create that. Then come over to your camera view, press arrow, press Z to be able to navigate around it. WASD, mouse look, basic stuff. So here we will have the main box. Let's go ahead and hollow that out before we do anything else though. So, right click on it, click make hollow, and let's just do 32. 32 or 16 work the best for this. Let's go over to here, select it, and we're going to texture it so that it doesn't generate any light. This is just going to be a basic border from the player, and the void, which is the infinite, looking into space. With for a terrible explanation of it, I don't really know how to explain it any better than that. So we want to come over here and we want to type in Tools, and click on Tools / Tool No Light, and then we're going to texture this with that. And so if you come in here, it's just a giant black box that, when it's not selected, will be blank. Player can't see anything. So after that, we need to select the shape again and hit Control T, and then this will pop up. And we need to change it to funk underscore brush. And then apply so that we can change the name. And then name it structure underscore seal. And apply. Exit out of that. Now, just because we did texture this and it does appear black, that does not mean that you should use any texture but this. With this texture, it does not render any light, which is the nice thing about this texture. So continuing on, let's make the main spawn room. Just come down here and draw it out, a little box there, with our mesh tool. Drag it up there. Let's situate our camera so that we can actually see this thing. Press enter to make it. Oh, what? Screwed up there. There we go. So, right off the bat, let's go ahead and texture this thing something else. Let's type in middle floor. Of course, you can search anything and choose anything. I'm going to choose this. And so let's just go ahead and texture that so we can actually see it. And of course, go ahead and make it hollow. I think for this one I'm going to use 16 instead, just because it's nice, concise, small, doesn't use as much stuff. So let's move over to objects, And let's go ahead, oops, let's go ahead and delete the top of it, because in this game it is from a top-down perspective and you do not put any ceilings on this because of that. So let's continue on and go ahead and make these walls their own color. Remember, control to select multiple things. And then let's move out of here and go over here. Let's search for metal wall. Oops. Metal wall. Sorry, I do that a lot. I have a habit of pressing there when I search for things, and that makes it go away. Let's put in... I like this one. So then texture that. As you can see, it doesn't really look that great on there. I'm going to go ahead and fix that right now, though. Select our texturing tool so that we can edit it. And we're going to increase the scale. That's the wrong scale. Increase the Y scale. There, that's perfect. That looks good. So, yeah. Okay, pause. I screwed up there. Okay, take 2. Continuing on. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we need the texture. Whoops, lost myself there. Remember, if you ever lose yourself in the void, you can just use your camera tool, and you can see where you are then. And as you see, here we go. No, okay. Take 2. I totally screwed this up somehow. Just cut it. That was bad. Somewhere. Here we go. Okay, come back in. Probably put in a nice little transition there so it looks so smooth. So now let's move out and look at it from the side. Let's bring back up this little tool here. And let's go around and select each of these outside faces. Sorry, you gotta hold down control. Again. Whoops. Darn it. I keep losing myself here. Okay. Cut. Okay, another take. And go. So now let's move outside of our shape here. And we're going to use this tool again to edit the face sheets. And so we're going to select all the outside edges. Remember, hold down Control to select more than one. Just go ahead and do this. Whoops. I think I missed a couple spots here. Remember to get the top 2. You don't want your player seeing the top edge of your wall. Just do one more little search around, make sure I got home, which I did. And now we're going to browse and go back to our tools no light. We're going to use this for pretty much anything we don't want the player to see. Now, why do we do this instead of just delete these faces? Well, we do it because we don't want the player to see through, because you need to remember, this is just a straight top-down view. It's at a 60-degree angle, and that's going to come into play later as well, but we're going to get to that later and what we have to do about that. So, now, come over to our entity tool, now that we have our little room set up, and info player start, bam, just set it somewhere. Okay, so now move him over to the center. Just create one for now. I generally find it's easier to do that for now. By the way, to change your grid size, use brackets on your keyboard.